Hey guys, welcome back to the Mets franchise. It's playoff time yet again as the road to the repeat continues. As we are the 2 seed in the National League, we'll be playing the St. Louis Cardinals here in the NLDS in this episode. Really quickly, before we get into it, if you guys are enjoying this series and you want to see more of it, don't forget to drop a like on the video. Really would help me out and I appreciate it. Going up against St. Louis, on the other side of the NL, it's Arizona and Milwaukee. So we got to get through St. Louis first and see who we would play if we can beat them. We lost to them, actually got swept to them to end the season, and we gave up 9 runs in the 4th inning against them. So it's not going to be easy. As you see, their team definitely not as good on paper than ours. Andres Munoz, of course, we miss him. He's over there. They got Jackson Holliday, interesting. They're a pretty young team. You look at the age of this team, very, very young. Everyone pretty much in the 20s. You got a few guys in the 30s. You got Joey Gallo, some veteran presence, but super young team for the Cardinals. So they are maybe ahead of schedule, you would say, because they don't have the highest of overalls. We're definitely better than them on paper, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. They've got a nice young team. Here's our rotation for the postseason. We're going to go with Burns, Urias, Senga third because Logan Gilbert pitched awful against the Cardinals to end the season. So we're just going to drop him back down to 4th. So we'll go with that for the rotation in this NLDS. You can see the bullpen off to the right. The only guy that's cut off there, of course, is Edwin Diaz. Our closer. The lineup, we're going to change it up just a little bit. Urias is going to lead off. Nimmo second. Kyle Tucker third. Alonso fourth. Lindor fifth. Brett Beatty and Luis Robert. And then Francisco Alvarez and Teoscar Hernandez going to DH and bat ninth. So that is a pretty dang stacked lineup. If you ask me, our bench consists of Jake Berger, Tom Murphy, Ryan O'Hearn, and Corey Julks. So pretty balanced bench. Bad news, though, right away before the series even begins. Brandon Nimmo's injured pregame, strained his hamstring. He is going to be out for a day or 2. I'm just going to spoil it for you so you guys know. He's out the first 2 games of the series. So the first 2 games at home, Brandon Nimmo will not be playing. And that's big because you know Brandon Nimmo is huge when it comes to the division series. The last couple years, he's been crushing the ball in the division series. He hit 4 home runs in 3 games last season. So missing him for the 2 games is going to be big for sure. But anyway, let's get into it. The NLDS is about to begin as you see the flyover and all the ceremony taking place on the field. As we're going to drop to some music for that, and then we'll get right into it. All right, let's get into it. NLDS about to begin. Corbin Burns on the mound had a fantastic season, made all 33 starts, pitched with 2.85 ERA. So he was brilliant all season, and we're going up against Gavin Stone. He was not too good, but of course Cardinals had to go through a wild card round to get here, so they can't start with their ace. They're going to start with Gavin Stone, who was bad all season, 5.96. Ramon Urias is going to start this game off for us in the bottom of the first, going deep to left field, going back to the left fielder. He's at the track. He leaps. He can't make the play, and it bounces off the wall. It's a leadoff double for Ramon Urias, a great guy we signed in the offseason. We signed him to be a leadoff hitter, and all he did was bat .304, and he was fantastic. Next up, Kyle Tucker. We're trying to get on the board early. It's one in the center field. Let's see if Urias will tag. He will not. So the runner stays on second for now. We got a runner on second. 1 out in the first for Pete Alonso. 50 home runs in the regular season. He is going to bloop one into right center. This is going to get down. Pete Crow Armstrong out there in center. Can't make the play as he dives, but it goes off his glove. But Urias obviously stayed because he thought that ball would get caught. First and third, 1 out. Lindor. Fly ball in the shallow center. Let's see if Urias is going to test it. He will with 2 outs. The throw from Crow Armstrong is right on the money. And Ramon Urias is thrown out at home. It would have took a great throw, and that's what it was. A great throw indeed. And we don't score in the first. Corbin Burns is cruising along so far. Gets Jackson Holliday there. In the third, it's Addison Barger. He gets him looking. Backdoor cutter. Brilliant pitch. Luis Torrens, he goes down swinging as well. Inside sinker. So Corbin Burns had it working early on in the game. Looking to strike out the side in the third, and he will. Crow Armstrong does go. Can't hold up. And it's a strikeout to the side in order in the third inning for Corbin Burnes, that he was dealing those 4 strikeouts in a row. Bottom half of the third, Jake Berger only starting because Brandon Nimmo's out, so Berger's DHing today and Teoscar's in left, so he draws a walk. Ramon Urias, he's going to bloop one into center field. That's going to be a base hit. It's already his second base hit of the game. So we got first and second, 1 out here in the bottom of the third, and we got Kyle Tucker coming to the plate. The 2-1 is hit deep into right field. Right fielder is going back. He will be able to make the play. That's Jake Berger, believe it or not, with 56 speed. He'll tag and go to third. And yet again, we got first and third. Pete Alonso, now like we talked about, 50 home runs in the regular season. Can he come through in the postseason? He can. That ball is crushed out to left center field. No doubt about it. The MVP of the regular season starts off in the postseason. Just picks up where he left off, I should say. First home run of the postseason, 418 feet, an absolute bomb from Pete Alonso, and the Mets are on the board early, 3-0 in the third, and that's how you start game 1 of the playoffs, especially for the MVP. You need him to go off if we're going to do anything this postseason, and yeah, he's starting on the right foot. 50 bombs in the regular season, and he just hit another one there. Joey Gallo in the fourth, though, runner on first, 1 out. It's Gallo chopped to first. Nice play by Alonso. He goes to second for 1, back to first. It's a double play. Corbin Burnes threw 4 so far. Solid inning, still 3-0. In the fifth, Jordan Walker, he's going to hit one up the middle. Lindor's not going to be able to make that play. It's a base hit, so the Cardinals finally have somebody on here looking to get a little rally going in the fifth inning. It's Jackson Holliday with 1 out, and he is going to line one fair down the left field line. That's going to go towards the sidewall, and rounding third is Jordan Walker. The throw relay home is on time, on the money. And thrown out with 1 out is Jordan Walker. What were they thinking? The Cardinals would have had second and third, 1 out. Instead, runner throws out. Next batter, of course, too, Addison Barger goes deep to right field. No doubt about it, into the Mets bullpen. And just like that, we have a game all of a sudden. It's 3-2. As Addison Barger, his first home run of the postseason, no doubter off Corbin Burnes with 2 outs, too. It was a killer. But just imagine if the Cardinals didn't run themselves into an out there, this game would be tied. Anyway, we're going to the bottom of the fifth. It's a leadoff walk for Teoscar Hernandez. That's never good for the opposing team. Jake Berger with another base hit. This one up the middle. First and second, nobody out in the bottom of the fifth. We got something going. And we got the leadoff. We got top of the order up. It's Ramon Urias. He's going to hit his third base hit of the game. This one into left, base hit. Teoscar Hernandez rounds third and scores. It's now 4-2 New York, as Ramon Urias 3 for 3 to start the postseason, and that would be it from Gavin Stone. He didn't pitch terrible, especially with what we thought. His ERA was 5.96, so we were expecting to get to him a little bit more. So he wasn't awful, but he can't finish the fifth. Still responsible for these guys on. Kyle Tucker hits one deep into center field. Crow Armstrong running back. He's still back. He makes the play in front of the wall, but tagging and going to third is Jake Berger. So yet again in this game, we have first and third. This time again with 1 out. It's Pete Alonso already has 1 3-run homer. Can he do it again? No. Strikes out. Nice slider. And that was Henke. His name's Tink Hence? Wow, Tink. That's a cool name. Anyway, base it up the middle from Francisco Lindor. Another run scores. 5-2 New York in the bottom of the fifth as Lindor comes through with a nice hit. He had another great offensive season as well. A lot of our lineup did. Brett Beatty, he's known for coming through in the postseason, but not going to come through so far as he strikes out. That kills the rally. 5-2, though, is the lead after 5. Going into the sixth, Brennan Donovan up. He goes down looking. Nice change up at the bottom of the zone as Corbin Burnes has his 10th strikeout. That would be his final strikeout, and this would be his final pitch as he gets Joey Gallo to line out to left. 6 innings, 2 earned. Only that 1 home run was the killer, and it was lucky it was only a 2-run shot. As we're going to our bullpen, and of course, one of the guys we got at the trade deadline, Tanner Scott, coming in the 7th to try to shut things down. And he gets the first guy out. Jordan Walker's up next. Jordan Walker is going to get another base hit. This one's down the right field line. He's going to round first and go for 2. The throw from Kyle Tucker is not going to be in time. It's a 1-out double for Jordan Walker as the Cardinals are trying to climb back in this one. Tanner Scott would get the next guy out, and then he would get Addison Barger to strike out swinging on a nice slider, so that threat is averted. We're going to the 8th. 6 outs away from taking a 1-0 series lead, and in the bottom half of the 7th, it's Ramon Urias, already 3 for 3 today, and he's going to make it 4 for 4. Deep to left field, looking up to the left fielder. It is going to one-hop the wall thought about going to second. Yes, he will go to second, and he'll be in there. It was a little scary. Urias doesn't have the best speed, but it's a double. Leadoff double in the 7th for Urias. 4-hit game to start off the postseason for him. Next up, Kyle Tucker. He's going to ground one to second, but Urias goes from second to third, so we got to run around third. And 1 out for Pete Alonso. 3-1 count on him, and the pitch is going to be inside. It's ball 4. Not the worst thing in the world for the Cardinals. Sets up the double play possibility. Francisco Lindor is going to hit one into right field. It looks like it's drifting way back there. It looked like it was going to be more shallow. This one's plenty deep enough now for Urias to score. He's not going to get thrown out this time. Crow Armstrong doesn't have that good an arm. And we take a 6-2 lead. In the 8th, though, Cardinals weren't done yet. Luis Arraez hits one down the right field line. There was a runner on first. He goes first to home. The relay throw is not going to be in time. And the Cardinals get one back. It's 6-3 now. And Marinaccio facing Joey Gallo. And oh boy, Joey Gallo goes off the camera. He fooled the cameraman. It's so high. Crushed into the second deck. And this is a 1-run game all of a sudden. And this is where I want to tell you, do not pay attention to the stats anymore this series. This game, unfortunately, is glitched out. Obviously, that's not Joey Gallo's 51st home run of the postseason. I don't need to tell you that. But it's just everyone's stats in this get messed up. I don't know what caused that. But, like, look at this. Edwin Diaz in the postseason has 24 games, and he's 8-10 in 132 innings. That's obviously not true. So it's unfortunate, but the stats just aren't working right. I'm hoping maybe when I shut this game off and turn on, next time that the stats reset and work. But yeah, just don't pay attention anymore, unfortunately. But anyway, in the 9th, there's a strikeout. Then he gets Luis Arraez to fly to center. We're 1 out away from taking a 1-0 lead. It's Barger who already homered today, but he's going to chop this one to Brett Beatty. Throws across the diamond, and the Mets win it. They take game 1, 6-5. We're in control, but it got scary in that 8th inning when Marinaccio gave up those runs. And then when Joey Gallo hit apparently his 51st home run in 4 games at this postseason. But we win it 1-0, and now we finally go to a night game in the NLDS as we'll try to take a 2-0 commanding series lead. Who do we have on the mound for game 2? Of course, it's Luis Urias, and his stats are actually right for the regular season, but it looks like all the postseason stats are getting messed up. Weird, but he had a good regular season anyway. Those are his real regular season stats. He was pretty solid. In the first, Victor Scott leading off, and he's going to lead off with a bang. That one's hit deep into center field. Luis Robert goes back, and this one is gone. A leadoff home run to start game number 2 for St. Louis as Victor Scott goes lefty-lefty into dead center. Impressive home run there from Victor Scott. Cardinals take an early lead in game number 2. He would settle down, though, and get a couple strikeouts as Urias gets Alec Burleson a strikeout, swinging on a high fastball. Going up against Chase Silseth, who was 12-9 with a 3.89 ERA. So he was solid for the Cardinals. So the Cardinals getting back into their part of the rotation where they have good pitching. But Luis Robert, he don't care about that. That one's no doubt in the center field. And this game is tied in the 2nd inning. That was with 2 outs in the bottom of the 2nd. Luis Robert, no doubt about it. Tie game at 1, just like that. So Robert, that's what he could do, hit those clutch home runs. Speaking of home runs, it's Addison Barger again going deep to right. And this one just clears the wall into the Mets bullpen. As you see there, scoreboard a little glitched out. But Urias pitching good. He got 7 Ks. But Barger again, it's another home run. I think he hit one last game, if I'm not mistaken. It says it's his first home run of the postseason, so I could be wrong, but I think he was the one who hit one last game 1. See, this freaking thing's confusing me. Anyway, in the 5th, 2-1 Cardinals, but Francisco Alvarez has something to say about that. That ball is crushed. He had an awful postseason last year. He's looking to redeem himself, and he is doing that so far. That is not his second home run of the postseason. That is definitely his first. He obviously didn't hit one in game 1, but that one is crushed nonetheless into the second deck. This one was a monster shot. Alvarez, he started off the season so good, got hurt for 2 months, and was kind of MIA after that, so we're hoping he can do good in the postseason. He was pretty much the only one last year who did nothing in the postseason. But here's a guy who's definitely not doing nothing in the postseason. It's Ramon Urias, another base hit. He just wasn't going to try to stretch this one into second. It was hit too hard. Kyle Tucker's up next. He hits one deep in the gap. Nobody's going to catch it. Is it gone? It's off the wall. Ramon Urias rounds third. He's headed home. He doesn't have a lot of speed. The relay is going to be just not in time. Urias beats it out, and we take a 3-2 lead just like that. Next up, Pete Alonso. He's going to try to find find the gap there, but that's a can of corn for the right fielder. End of 5, Mets lead 3-2. In the 6th, it's Urias. He's trying to get out of 6. Urias dives. The other Urias dives. Can't make the play. So here comes Barger, who already homered this game, but we're going to leave Urias in here to try to finish the 6th inning, and it pays off as he gets the strikeout on the changeup, and that's his night was done. 6 innings, only 2 earned. He actually pitched good. Only just gave up those 2 long balls, but definitely give us a chance to win it here as we have the lead. It's Brett Beatty. He's going to rip one into the gap. This one should not be caught. It is going to clear the wall. It's out of here. Into the Cardinals bullpen. Brett Beatty hit homers for the first time this postseason. You knew it was coming. He's usually clutch in the postseason, and he does it 5-2 as we'll go all the way to the 8th. It's Dylan Coleman on for the 8th. He gets Luis Arias to strike out. Next batter, Alec Burleson. He's going to line one to center. Luis Roberts there, and he'll make the play. And we're 3 outs away from taking a commanding 2-0 lead in the postseason. And you know what that means. It's time for Edwin Diaz as the trumpets will play and the crowd will get into it, knowing that if 3 outs away here, it's almost guaranteed with playoff Edwin Diaz. He's almost automatic in these situations. We should be headed to St. Louis up 2-0. First up, Jackson Holliday. He lines one right to Brett Beatty, 1 away. Addison Barger up next, 2-2 count. He goes down swinging, nasty slider. 1 out away here. And it's Andy Pages, and he is going to hit one into foul territory. First base side, Pete Alonso's there, and the Mets win. And the Mets take a commanding 2-0 series lead headed into St. Louis. And wow, what a performance at home. Both games are pretty close. It wasn't like that dominant, but we're going into St. Louis where we know anything can happen. Remember, St. Louis had a 9-run inning against us when we played them in St. Louis. So take a quick break. Let's go into St. Louis, and we'll be back for game number 3. Let's try to finish off this sweep. On the mound for game number 3 for St. Louis, Matthew Liberatore, 4.84 ERA. Not great. I'm surprised they didn't go to Mike Soroka in this one. I know he probably pitched in the wild card round, but surely he would have been ready enough to go by now. And he's going against Kodai Senga. Senga getting his first postseason start in this whole franchise. In the top of the second, Francisco Lindor finds the right center field gap. It's going to be a 1-out double in the second. First highlight of this one. Next up, Teoscar Hernandez. He's going to walk. That was a terrible pitch. Way too high. So we got first and second, 1 out for Francisco Alvarez. And he is going to hit one into center. This one is going to drop in front of Crow Armstrong. Great read off the bat there from Francisco Lindor. He rounds third and scores. And the Mets have an early 1-0 lead here in game number 3. Brett Beatty, though, is going to strike out, so it's first and second. 2 outs now for Ramon Urias. He doesn't hit lefties as well as he hits righties, and he's going to flare this one in a right, but the right fielder is going to make the play. So in the bottom second we go, we're up 1-0. It's Joey Gallo, though, and Joey Gallo keeps crushing us. You remember he was with, I think, the White Sox either last year or a couple years ago, and in the regular season he hit like 2 bombs against us in that game. It's just MLB The Show, and it's Joey Gallo. He's hard to pitch to as he goes deep for the 3rd time this postseason, which is much more accurate. Top half of the 3rd, though, it's Kyle Tucker. He's going to find the hole in the infield. It's a base hit, so 1 out, 1 on for the Mets here in the top of the 3rd. The throw gets thrown away in the infield, but Kyle Tucker's going to stay right there. Pete Alonso would make out, so it's a runner on first for 2 outs for Luis Robert, and Robert hits one deep in the left center field. Crow Armstrong running back. He's at the track. He looks up, and it's out of here. 2-run home run for Luis Robert, and the Mets have a 3-1 lead early on in this one. The second home run of the series, and that one is big as it gives the Mets 2-run lead, 3-1 here. Bottom of the 3rd we go, though. Senga on the mound. It's Ivan Herrera. He hits one deep into center field. Robert's running back. He's running out of room. It's out of here. Straight away center field home run for Ivan Herrera, and just like that, it's 3-2. Senga giving up a long home run there in the bottom half of the 3rd. We're still in the 3rd. They got to run on first at this point for Brennan Donovan. Donovan lines one deep in a right field. Kyle Tucker's going back. He should be there. He leaps, but he can't make the play. It's past his outstretched glove, and it's a ground rule double. second and third for the Cardinals, and it's Luis Ariz. He's going to come through, base hit in the left, 1 run scores. The second run comes around third, and he scores easily because, like we keep talking about, Brandon Nimmo's arm is awful. Senga strikes out, gets the strikeout there to end the third, but not good stuff. He had 70-something pitches through 3 innings, gave up 4 earned. That was it for him. Seen enough from Kodai Senga as we're trying to get this sweep here. That would be it. Leadoff base hit for Brett Beatty here in the 4th. Thought about going to second, but he stays right there. Urias up next. He bloops one, and that's going to fall in front of the left fielder for a base hit. First and second, nobody out here in the 4th inning as we're trying to get this lead back or at least tie it up. Brandon Nimmo finally back from that injury. It's his first game of the postseason. He's going to fly to right, though, and the runners will stay where they are. First and second, 1 out now for Kyle Tucker. He's in a good hitter's count, 3-1, and Tucker smashes one to right. No doubt about it. This one is gone. Just misses the second deck in right field. A clutch 3-run home run from Kyle Tucker, his first of the series. And the Mets take a 6-4 lead just like that. A lot of offense in this one as we're in the top of the 4th inning and already 10 runs have been scored between the two teams as Kyle Tucker, no doubt about this one. All his no-doubters are like right down the line. This one, no doubt about it, though. Definitely fair, 100%. It's Pete Alonso next up. What he can do, he rips one into right field. It's a base hit. So this rally in this inning, not over here in the 4th. That would be it for the starting pitcher of the Cardinals. Pete Alonso was on the move. It was a 3-2 count and a perfect hit and run situation there. Luis Robert finds the gap in right center, and even though it was Pete Alonso, since he was going on the play 7-4, he scores all the way from first. Lindor, going so fast in this one. Base hit up the middle. Nice play by Ariz, though, saves a run. So that would be Teoscar Hernandez up next, and he's going to hit it hard, but right to second. 4-6-3 double play. So Ariz saved a run there by that diving stop. But we're up 7-4 here in the 4th. Aaron Savale on the mound. As like we said, we were done with Kodai Senga after 3. So Savale on the mound. That's a leadoff double from Jordan Walker. Jordan Walker's doing good in this series. So they get a leadoff double. Looks like it's going to be one of these high-scoring games. It's never going to be relaxing. It looks like, at least from the start of this one. Nice strikeout in Jackson Holiday. Addison Barger, he's been killing us this series. He hits one pretty deep into center field. Luis Robert goes back. He's going to make the play, but tagging and going to third is Jordan Walker. So the Cardinals got a runner on third with 2 out here in the 4th as Savale tries to get out of this one. It's Ivan Herrera, already homered today, but he chops this one to short. Lindor's going to make the play easily, and we're out of the jam in the 4th, 7-4 after 4. We're going to the 5th, though. It's going to be another leadoff base runner for the Cardinals as Crow Armstrong hits one down the left field line. He's going to get into second easily. Another leadoff double that Aaron Savale is going to give up. So he hasn't been pitching great either. Got out of the jam last inning. Let's see if he can do it again. He already has 1 out, but Luis Ariz hits one in the gap. This one's headed towards the wall. Crow Armstrong scores easily. It's 7-5 now. Only a 2-run lead for the Mets as it's an RBI double for Luis Ariz, but that throw gets way thrown away in the infield, and Ariz will go to third. So it's a double and an error. And Joey Gallo, who's been killing us, he strikes out. Clutch strikeout there from Savale as we're trying to strand this runner on third. The next batter, runner on third, 2 out. It's Alec Burleson, and he strikes out swinging. Nice change of speed on the slider there from Savale. So could have been a lot worse from Savale, but he's out of here after 2 innings pitched, 7-5. In the 6th, it's Stephen O'Kurt. Had a good season. Gets a double play here in the 6th, and he'd get the next guy out. So that ends that rally. We're trying to score another run. Francisco Alvarez going to hit a base hit up the middle, the runner on first. So we got first and second, 1 out in the 7th. We definitely need this extra run because the Cardinals look like they're starting to hit. Blooped into center field from Brett Beatty. That drops down. We have a lot of bloops today. We're getting lucky a little bit. But a run scores 8-5 now. We have a 3-run lead, and we're going to Tanner Scott, guy we got at the deadline, to try to shut things down here in the 7th, keep it where it is at a 3-run lead. And in the 7th inning, he works an easy one. 1-2-3, gets Brendan Donovan to strike out there. As you see, through 7, we got 15 hits. We would actually leave Tanner Scott in for the 8th because we got a lot of lefties coming up. And he gets Luis Ariz to ground to short, 1 away. And he's still staying in there because it's another lefty, Joey Gallo. Scary lefty. He's going to hit one through the diving Urias for a base hit. So he's on base, but we're up by 3. So tying run not up to the plate yet. And it's another lefty, so we decided to stick with Tanner Scott. And he's going to come through. Grounds to Alonso, to Lindor for 1, to Scott. Back to Scott at first for the second out. Double play. We're 3 outs away. Tanner Scott with a 6-out hold. That was brilliant from him and Edwin Diaz now. 2 for 2 so far in the first 2 games. He was perfect in each of them. And with a 3-run lead, this should be automatic. But it's a leadoff walk to Jordan Walker. That's never good. Jordan Walker on base a lot this series. Jackson Holliday up next, 3-2 count. He chops to third. Beatty goes around the horn, 5-4-3 double play, and we're 1 out away from a sweep. It's Addison Barger who grounds to first. Alonso steps on the bag, and the Mets have won it. They have swept the St. Louis Cardinals, and we are moving on to the NLCS. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that series. We took care of the Cardinals in quick fashion as you see the other bracket from around the league. We will be playing the Arizona Diamondbacks in the NLCS, and we will not have home field in that one. Arizona had the best record in the majors, so it's not going to be easy. We'll go over their roster and who we'll go up against in that one the next episode. We'll take a look at the American League side of things, though. Baltimore, not only did they upset Tampa Bay by sweeping them, they upset Cleveland in 5, so they are going to the ALCS. And the Angels swept the Astros. Wow, that was kind of surprising that they took care of them that easy. And they have a definite advantage over the 6-seed Baltimore Orioles. So it could be a World Series rematch. That would be exciting. But we got to get through the Diamondbacks next. That's coming up in the next video. By the way, I'm going on vacation for a week, so you're going to see one video next week, which will be the NLCS. I'll try and get that out, but that's all you'll see. But don't worry, we'll come back for more after that. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one.